Kieran Gillen and Dustin Weaver explore the origins of Thanos and what his birth has wrought on not just the Eternals, but also the entire galaxy. Kieran Gillen breaks up his Eternals run for a cool event series that explores the origins of Thanos and the specifics in which birthed him into the world. Compared to his previous 6 issues, Thanos Rises was a rather straightforward origin story. There's still a lot of high concept things in there, but it definitely is not as heady as his previous issues were, and it's probably better off for that since it's a little bit more accessible to newer readers. As someone not privy to all of the specifics of Thanos' birth and his early life, I really enjoyed learning about his parents and seeing how he was birthed out of some noble, kind of righteous intentions in a bid to finally break the cycle and allow Eternals to live a proper life outside of their rather dogmatic life cycle. But it all went wrong in the worst way possible. Gillen also explores the exclusion and how for each Eternal it's different, giving us a rather terrifying look at what Mentor's exclusion entailed, and it fed into this idea that while Eternals are some nigh godlike beings and are seen sort of above everyone else, they still have many barbaric and animalistic and even human traditions. Dustin Weaver joins the book as artist, and I loved how he changed up his style to kind of fit with Jack Kirby's era Eternals, making it like the first part of this story is set in, the 60s when the Eternals were starting to sort of come to prominence then, using bright and wild colors and getting really weird with the Kirby-esque design aesthetics like strange looking spaceships and angular corners and cyborg dinosaurs, all that really good stuff. Eternals Thanos Rises issue 1 was a fantastic origin of Thanos, exploring more of the Eternals culture and people who fought to change it, utilizing really weird Kirby era concepts and designs to their full potential to tell a really awesome story. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Eternals Thanos Rises issue 1 heads 200,000 years into the past, where the last battle of the Titan Schism is underway. Icarus goes to meet with Alaz, telling him the Zorazians found where the isolation they were awakening was, and he died several times before escaping. As they talk, Thena notices something on Icarus's body, which Phastos attacks, revealing it to be a shrinking intruder. It's revealed to be the traitor Sprite, who tells Icarus that they are against the Eternals this time because he's an Eternal child and doesn't get to change, and so why should anyone else get to? Icarus calls her immature, and she knows that's not her fault since her creators made her life like that. She reveals that Ayla's mother wants to offer him a proposal for the end of the war. The Eternal meets with Dana of times past and Zuras, who knows their fathers and brothers failed, and how could Ayla's resort to war after everything their ancestors fought for? Ayla's knows that they have no father or children, and it's all defined by the machine. Dana stops their arguing over families, knowing arguments escalate into wars and they don't need to repeat them. She reveals to her son that he will lose this war and damage the great machine, and Zuras will win given time, but many defiant Eternals will end up being excluded, and all exclusions end up hurting the machine. She suggests a majority of Eternals be mind wiped, and in exchange, Alaz gets a lifetime in exile to see if Eternals can spawn a lineage. Both men soon agree to this, and the war ends and the Eternals are reset, with Sprite making a joke about maybe her and Icarus were on opposite sides of the war. Icarus finds that revolting as Alaz is told to leave for his exile by Zuras. Alaz tells the Eternal he plans on creating a people derived from Eternals, and one that isn't a true Eternal. Heading through a portal, Alaz reveals that he won't be taking an Eternal lover, but someone else, one of the Uranites who still lives. Alaz and Zuras meet with Dana at his ship, who wishes him good luck on his journey into the cosmos and hopes he's successful, but she doesn't wish it too hard since his ambition can tear him apart. She wants Alaz to remember his father as he races off into space, as the machine knows Alaz would spend thousands of years unaware of what occurred on Earth, only catching up with them when they returned after Alaz had died. Alaz heads to Titan, meeting with Susan, revealing to her that he is now going by the name Mentor, since he wants to start a new life. He asks why she is there, but Sue knows that Mentor knows why. She says that she left Earth to escape eternal justice, but Alaz says that when they died, though, they were reset on Earth and with their minds wiped. He asks why she joined the Uranites, learning she did it out of love for the people, but it was a mistake since love dies and ashes remain. Ayla knows that love can end well as the woman laughs at his idea of seducing her, but Ayla knows that perhaps he can, given some time, but he knows that she would want a future for herself and for Titan. He knows that they can build this place back up, and soon eons go by as Titan blossoms and grew, and Mentor and Sue grew to love each other as Mentor meanwhile tells his father Kronos he needs help since he has the powers of the firmament and he can bypass what is coded in the Eternals. Mentor wishes to have a child, so Kronos agrees, but before his son sires the child, he is to be married, giving his son rings to use to seal the wedlock. Under a living tree, Mentor and Sue are married by Kronos, who offers them the quantum bands as wedding rings, wanting them to find their dream. Kronos can see their child will be a boy, as that night the couple discuss their child and that they have defied the Celestials and how they made them, all for love and the future. They decide their son will be a scientist and poet and he'll be called Eros. Mentor, however, wanted to call the boy Thanos, their triumph over death, and Sue loves the sound of that. Soon she gives birth to a monster baby, and doing so she is driven insane until one day Thanos kills his mother, reborn in the exclusion and telling the machine of what happened. Stricken by grief at what his son has become, Mentor lashes out at Kronos, returning the quantum bands to him before continuing his work to try and make good on his promise. But Thanos soon finds him, killing his father like he did his mother. Ayla is resurrected on Earth, expecting to see Zurus, who would gloat over his failure, but Thena knows that Zurus thought he wasn't worth it all. Icarus wants to see his report on the experiment, so Mentor says the Eternals should not be allowed to breed, as he learns he is to be excluded. Mentor is led to his cell, asking why he can't have a clean slate since he wouldn't repeat the same mistakes he did, but Icarus knows that that's not what the Unimind fears. It fears his nature, tossing him in the cell. Icarus reveals his wife Susan is in the cell next to him, excluded for the same reason as him, and he won't get to talk to her, but Sue says that he told Icarus it would be better if her and Ayla never met or have existed. The cell is sealed and Ayla finds a letter from Zurus, learning the cell will project an ongoing estimate of the total deaths caused by Thanos, with each bright pixel representing a death. Soon the entire room is overcome in a bright light from the pixels, so bright it burns Ayla's eyes out of his head as his brother reminds him that he told him he was wrong. The machine knows that this is implied to be a tragic ending, but that implied it to be an ending at all, and it could always be worse. Like hypothetically, Thanos learning the only way he could destroy the woman who birthed him was to destroy the planet.